We saw the assassination of Charlie Kirk, 2 assassination attempts on the president, school shooting Minnesota last month, and closer to home, just a couple of days ago, Huntington Beach, peaceful vigil for Charlie Clark, infiltrated by neo-Nazis who essentially made the local individuals attending that event fear for their safety. All of us know that a lot of these domestic attacks are by lone wolves, but yet they do leave clues, social media or elsewhere. Director Patel, you're it. You're the thin blue line. The FBI, your job to protect our citizens back home from those that would harm us. You have to find the needle in the haystack. Takes a lot of work, a lot of resources. Talking to my local sheriff this morning, who said they're concerned. Federal cuts to local grants that help them do the job. Then, of course, let's not forget about other threats that are coming before us, like high-tech fraud. Local senior recently was talking to me about a text she had gotten, a demand by the IRS to send a payment immediately, or the IRS agents were on their way to arrest this individual. Pretty gutsy stuff by folks probably from Europe, North Korea, Russia, China, people, okay, going after those precious savings our senior citizens rely on. Yet the president's proposing a budget cut of $500 million or more to your organization, the FBI. You've said that that'll essentially equate to about 1,300 less jobs at the FBI. So I'm going to ask you essentially, what is it that we can do to help you do your job? Little concerned. Friday Night Lights. One of the events I love to do on Friday nights, go to the local high school football game. Sit there at the stadium and you always say, what if? What if? You're the thin blue line. Can you do your job cutting $500 million from your budget?
Thank you, sir. I think we are doing our job, and the distinction is with the budget that we have, we are flexing more resources to the field. California is receiving the largest FBI plus-up of any state in the union due to that plus-up. They're not getting a reduction. No state is getting a reduction. Every state is getting a plus-up. And so I'm utilizing the money that we have to first plus it up. And the empty vacancies that we have, those haven't been filled in years, not under my leadership.
Here's my concern. You're going to do well, you're doing more with less, is what you're saying. Yet we're about to vote on a budget that has $88 million more to protect members of Congress, the executive branch in Washington. We're saying we need more money to protect members of Congress. It's a little contradiction here. Or maybe, sir, you ought to talk to leadership about coming in with your management style to protect the Supreme Court, Congress, and the administration. Otherwise, it's essentially a hypocritical situation. We need more protection, yet folks on Main Street can do with less.
My concern is folks on Main Street. We also were, I think we received over $300 million in the big, beautiful bill, and we're also receiving pots of money from our interagency, so this sort of $500 million cut isn't entirely accurate.
You're still getting cut $200 million plus. You're still moving your agents to do ICE work, so you are leaving a lot of bases uncovered. And I'm not going to be argumentative with you, Director Patel. I'm just saying, if that thin blue line does not hold, people on Main Street will pay the price.
I agree with you, sir.
And I just look forward to working with you, because I am very concerned that these kinds of budget cuts are short-sighted, especially when my local sheriff calls me and says, we need more support, and we're looking at budget cuts.
I'll work with you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I yield time.
Mr. Chairman, I have another unanimous consent request.
The gentleman yields back. The gentleman from New York.
Who's speaking? The main speakers are Mr. Correa, a congressman asking the questions, and Mr. Patel, a director, likely of the FBI, who is responding. What are they saying? Mr. Correa is seriously concerned. he brings up neo-Nazis, lone wolf attackers, and high-tech scams targeting senior citizens. He says the FBI is the thin blue line, protecting regular people, but their budget is facing a massive $500 million cut. He points out the irony that while the FBI's budget is being cut, Congress is getting an $88 million increase for its own protection. Mr. Patel argues that the cut isn't as bad as it sounds, as they get money from other sources and are actually increasing resources to field offices. The main point. It's a tense debate about budget cuts. The core question is, are we weakening the country's ability to fight crime on Main Street while politicians in D.C. are getting more protection for themselves? Hold on. Wait a minute. I'm reading the transcript and listening to the clip, and I have to ask, where is Epstein? Where is Trump? Where is Elon Musk? The title is a full-blown bombshell, but the actual video is a serious and frankly important debate about the FBI's budget. Okay, so the real shock here is the massive bait and switch. They slapped a super juicy clickbait title on a video about federal appropriations. Don't get me wrong, the conversation itself is fascinating. Mr. Correa's point about protecting Main Street while DC protects itself is powerful. You can feel his frustration, but it has absolutely nothing to do with the Epstein files. I feel like we all got duped. This is the perfect example of why we have to be so careful online. A title is designed to grab your attention, but it doesn't always reflect reality. Before you get outraged or share something based on a headline, take a minute to actually watch the content. It's easy to get swept up in the emotion of a title, but the truth is often much more nuanced, and in this case, completely different. Were you as confused by that title as I was? Or do you think the budget debate itself is the real bombshell? Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you want to keep cutting through the noise with me, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to my shock filer. You never know what we'll uncover next. Peace.